Hi, welcome to Happy Hour with Ebony. We're going to be talking about dating in Hollywood. Is it appropriate? Is it cool? Is it okay? And it's just all opinions today. I'm here with Jasmine Rossi. She is an actress and model. And anything else would you like to introduce yourself as?
So I am an actress and model. 25 years old. I started taking acting classes 12 years ago when I was 13 years old, and I started modeling 5 years ago.
Oh, so what made you want to get into modeling after acting? Acting made you want to get into modeling.
No, your question was what made me
Oh,
want to get
okay,
into
sorry.
modeling after acting.
Yeah.
I started wanting to get into modeling. I thought about it as a teenager. It wasn't super interesting to me, but it was something I had thought about. Um, then when I got a little bit older, I started seeing a lot of models on Instagram, and I started hearing about how fun it was. So that's when I started to want to model. My acting coach she was a former model, and she actually suggested it to me a little bit, and she kind of breached the subject. So I said, yeah, why not? Let's try to make me a model and pursue it.
You are a model.
Thank you.
And what kind of model are you? Lifestyle? Are you exotic? Are you high fashion, print?
Definitely print. I would say definitely more of a print model. Lifestyle, kind of high fashion. You go on my Instagram and you're like, oh, these photos are kind of high fashion. I do a lot of everything. I don't do nudity. I don't do like a ton of like sexy stuff, but yeah, I do a lot of print modeling.
Well, you're already sexy.
Thank
so,
you.
it'll be like extra sexy if you but I know you want to be taken seriously as an actress, and
Yeah.
you want to show your range more than your body. I understand that.
Mhm.
And as far as acting, what made you pursue that passion?
Gosh, okay, acting. So as a kid, I started to watch really, really good movies. Um, there's a few movies I saw as a kid that really touched me so much and made me want to pursue acting. I saw one of them. I actually watched it last night with my boyfriend. It's I Am Sam with Sean Penn.
Oh.
And I remember watching that movie, and it was so touching. I thought his acting was absolutely incredible, and the story was incredible. I really like Charlize Theron. I love Angelina Jolie. I love Jodie Foster. I love really good actors and actresses. So that's why. And then I started to take classes, and I was like, oh, I'm actually good at this. I can do this. Because I think that acting is something that we can all learn. But I think that when you naturally have that in you, knowing how to create imaginary circumstances and kind of put yourself in other people's shoes, or be method actor, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think those things can really benefit you. So yeah, I had a passion for it at a really young age, and my parents started to notice, and they decided that they'll enroll me in classes, and it just kind of blossomed from there.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love, first of all, you look like Angelina Jolie.
Thank you.
I mean, she's beautiful. I mean,
Thank you.
yeah, you look like Angelina Jolie.
Thank you.
What type of roles do you see yourself playing? Like this American sweetheart, or the bad cop? How do you see yourself as an actress?
How do I see myself as an actress? I see myself playing a lot of roles, like very darker, dramatic roles. I like Angelina Jolie in Girl Interrupted.
Oh yeah,
I really like her in that movie. I think we did
we did a scene together.
It was but that was from Changeling, not Girl Interrupted. It was from Changeling.
Oh, and that was Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and then we
Okay.
did one. We did one from Gia. But those
Gia,
are
yeah.
those are the roles I see myself kind of playing, like darker, more dramatic. I love Charlize Theron in Monster. So those are roles I feel like I can play so well.
Yeah, I can see it too, especially in your voice. Like I can tell you have a different range in your voice. You can be exciting, or you can like be like nonchalant, or like you can even like play like a really deep like. Excuse me if I'm wrong. Like let's say if you were drunk, but then you weren't like being like overt with it, because you have like this like airy voice and
Thank
it's
you.
so beautiful, like, and you can like really play with that and go dark or like exciting.
Thank you so much. I have never heard someone say that about me. Now I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, really? Am I like that? It's really cool.
Yeah. So how do you brand yourself?
That I think branding yourself in LA in Hollywood is it's really hard. I think for some people it's really easy. You know, when you're a model and an actress, it's hard to kind of separate those two because people kind of see you either or. Because when I mean, again, I've said like I don't take a lot of sexy photos, but sometimes I do. And sometimes my photos, they just have that energy to them. So, and I don't necessarily want to brand myself like that in my acting. Not that I don't mind being sexy in acting, but I don't want to brand myself like that specifically. But sometimes it's hard because directors see you like that and they want to put you in roles like that. I've been asked to I've been asked to do nude scenes and things like that by directors. I think when you're a model, that kind of automatically happens. They want to put you in those roles. So I try to brand myself by doing, like when I do my, when I put on self-tapes, like just little self-tapes I do or little monologues, I just try to choose. Like,
And I like your pictures on Instagram. It has a
you.
theme.
Thank
Like
you.
it has like this like vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, like what you just said, I kind of resonate with that because when I remember I've had people tell me, they're like, you don't smile in your photographs a lot. Like, I don't smile a lot in my pictures. That's kind of my brand in a way. If you look at Lana Del Rey, but especially back in like 2012 when she came out with her album Born to Die, she wouldn't smile a lot. She had this like air of like this mysterious woman. That's kind of what I try to play off in my...
I was looking for that answer. I was like, girl, talk about those pictures.
Yeah,
Yes,
I try to kind of brand myself like that. So sometimes when I hear people say like, why don't you smile? It's not that I'm not happy. It's like
it works.
It just works when I don't, when I have that kind of mysteriousness about me in my pictures.
And then if you keep it, they say, there she is. There she goes.
Yeah, I think that's why everyone loves her so much, because she's so interesting, Lana Del Rey. When you look at her photos, you're like, what is she thinking? What is she thinking about? So sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't even trying to be like her in my photographs, but then I started to realize, I'm like, my pictures are like, the look on my face is kind of like Lana Del Rey, so I'm like branding myself kind of like that a little bit.
I brand myself by wearing New York and Company all the time. And I was informed about Bonnie Gillespie. Have you heard of her? She does 11-day free course. Bonnie Gillespie.
No, I haven't.
She basically does 11-day free courses on how to like brand yourself and like how to find your type and how to get an agent. And do you have an agent?
I have an agency. I'm with Peak.
Peak? Oh,
yeah, I'm
okay.
with Peak.
Oh, Peak.
Yeah, Peak Models.
Okay, so you have a modeling. So like, is there a difference? Because I'm new to the industry. Is there like a difference between like an acting agent and a modeling agent?
There is a difference. Some agencies, they do both. So their agent, like, they work with models and actors. That's called like more of like a talent agency. They work with talent. My agency just works with models.
Okay, cool.
I just work with models. I remember when I walked in, and they wanted to sign me. I'm like, do you guys work with actors or actresses? They're like, no, we're sorry. I was like, okay, but it's still good to have.
And then you were like, modeling?
What?
Then you said, like, did you inquire right after that about modeling?
Did I inquire?
Yeah, like, okay, when you asked, do you guys sign for actors? And they said no. Did you ask them, oh, what about models?
No. The agency was a modeling agency.
Okay.
Yeah, they were a modeling agency. So I walked, because sometimes modeling agencies, they work with actors and actresses. And they don't even really disclose that. Like, I've actually walked in a few agencies and I've talked to them, and they asked me to fill out a form, and they're like, are you interested in doing TV and film? And I'm like, of course. I'm like, I don't know, they work with actresses and actors, but sometimes they do. It just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, how does one get an agent? Like,
I think when it comes to modeling, I think both are really difficult, but I think a lot of it is about who you know. I got my modeling agent through this male model. He was asking me, he's like, what agency are you with? And I said, I don't have one right now. I'm looking. It was really hard, honestly. And he said, email this agency, the agency I'm with. And he said, I will call them and tell them you will be emailing them. And I emailed them, and I got an email a few days later, and they said, we would like to sign you, just come in the office.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that sounded easy. But it's
yeah.
hard because it is about who you know. You have to be like
Yeah.
putting that best foot forward at all times, like putting that foot through the door, just by communicating with people.
Oh yeah, I think that referrals, from my experience, work so much better than just
Cold calling.
cold calling people. I started modeling 5 years ago, guys. Like, it is so hard. It is very, very hard. And with acting, I think it's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
With acting, when you want to, find a good acting agency or find an agent to represent you, a lot of it is about who you know. And I think it's about just sending a commercial, a really good commercial, sending a good monologue, doing a few short films beforehand, and then putting it all together, like, on a hard drive, and just, like, sending it over.
So, like, do you, like, agree with someone paying somebody to, like, set up a demo reel for them before they get a role?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I think it does help I think that demo reels help because that's what they want a lot of times. I don't have a demo reel right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do when I submit myself on LA casting or backstage, I just have monologues and just
your
like
self-tapes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, at the end of the day, what they're looking for is your ability. And someone can have a demo reel and not be good.
Yeah.
I'm
looking for a director and editor for a demo reel that I want to write, or maybe pay a writer. Like, I'm still trying to navigate that.
Yeah, I think going to, like, those networking events that you go to, it definitely helps you very much when you want to start doing that kind of stuff.
And when you say networking events, what kind of networking events?
So there's a few I've been to. There's one at the W Hotel I started going to about 6 months ago, and because of coronavirus, we stopped going. I don't know when they're going to have it. But I've been to a few. There's some in downtown LA. There's some in Santa Monica. It's just events where there's industry people that go and talk.
Oh, I've done that with, like, filmmakers. I go out and see their shorts, and then, like, we do a Q&A, and then somebody might walk up to you and be like, you know what? Do you have a headshot? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You just kind of have to put yourself out there to get noticed by people.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, how does an actor, besides auditioning, put themselves on the map?
Besides auditioning, sometimes I think when you audition, they kind of look at you like cattle after a while. When you walk in the room, it's like they've seen, like, 200 people that day. Making a good impression. I think, how do you do that? How do you make a good impression? I think that's something, like, I still struggle with.
I think you make good impressions. And then I would highly recommend, like, just when you're out, putting that energy out there, just, like, maybe go just out and, like, just talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And I seen somebody playing with a camera on the side of the road, and I'm like, you're a filmmaker? I'm like, okay, I need a demo reel. Like, just And then you're on a radio show, you're putting yourself on the map with that. So I believe that when it comes to actors, like you want to put yourself on the map, like go beyond auditioning, like
Yeah.
because audition, like you said, it's just an audition.
They just, yeah, you walk in the room and they're like, oh, this is the 100th person I've seen today.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're at a networking event, it's more personal.
Yeah.
Where you meet a director, it's just a more personal experience. You get to sit and talk to them. I've actually had that happen. Like, I'll meet a director and they'll be like, I did this film recently.
Oh, cool.
And then we'll just talk about it and I'll be like, I think that, like, I'll just give ideas. And then sometimes when you give ideas, they're like, this is actually a talented person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then I was also going to say, I stopped applying online. I just stopped. I'm like, I've never even like gotten a job online. Like I've always got connected with people just by like.
It's so hard to get jobs online.
Yeah.
In this industry, like, it is so difficult. I mean, I haven't said I can't say I have not experienced people wanting me to hire because it's something that I submitted online. It's happened, but it's just hard. Like, I mean, after every like 50 submissions I do on Backstage or LA Casting, I get one person that's like, "Could it be in our short film? Like, we just think you're the good fit. We saw like a little monologue you did. Just be in our short film." Like, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen. Like, I guess I can't give up on going online. It's just like, I've got one job online. And then everything else, I'm just like connecting with people and they're just like, oh, okay, like, come to this address for an audition. Like, it's just like, so online, like you said, is really hard. So now I was going to ask you, are you single?
No, I have been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years. And on August 17th, it'll be officially 2 years. So, no, I'm not single. I'm pregnant.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
How many weeks are you?
I'm 3 months.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell. You're not even showing.
People can't tell. I haven't really disclosed that information to like my agency or people, but yeah, I'm 3 months pregnant. I'm very excited, and I think that my boyfriend is a great person to have a child with. He would definitely teach me a lot of things about having kids.
Aww. Mm-hmm. Does he have kids?
No, he has no kids, but he has he's helped raise his nieces and nephews, and he's been around kids his whole life, so he knows.
Are you guys thinking about tying the knot? Getting married?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We just want to make it like a nice experience, a nice wedding.
Yeah.
Have the funds for it.
Oh,
so.
That's nice. Oh, no courthouse jumping a broom. You want to have like a nice. Would you like it at a church, the beach, what?
Well, I've always wanted the princess wedding, to be honest with you, like at a beautiful hotel with a beautiful gown and great food, a great cake. I've always wanted something like that.
Oh, sometimes I have dreams about like a certain song will come on, and I'm like imagining myself dancing for my husband at the wedding. And I'm like, I don't even know what song will come across my head to make me think, but yeah, King by Beyonce.
Ooh, I think I've heard it. Maybe, yeah.
And then, how did you meet your boyfriend?
So, I met my boyfriend. He's a photographer, and I mean, he does other things too. He's like a cocktail of different types of work he does.
Okay.
But
entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's a photographer as well. And then I met him on a photo shoot. It's interesting because it was just so. It wasn't like for a brand, or I wasn't like working. I just felt like I needed more photos for Instagram, and just to get noticed. And I went on this page. I went on this like Facebook page where they have different actors and models.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, I was
because they're real people doing real things. It's not like you submitting to this thing and you don't know if it's like binging in, or you don't know if the person's getting the information. Like you on Facebook, it's like finding a job on Facebook is like, you know, it's a person, you know, it's real, it's their first and last name, like
You see all their like photos, and you see it all. So yeah, I mean, I went on Facebook and I just started messaging photographers. I'm like, hi, I like your work. I was wondering if you want to collaborate together. And he responded, he said, sure. He sounded kind of bored. Like, when we spoke, like, I just kept venting to him. I'm like, this is so hard. This is just so difficult. Modeling is so difficult. He's like, giving me all these, like, one word replies.
He's like, okay, like, let's shoot.
Yeah.
So you're dating someone in the industry.
Yeah, I am.
You know what's funny? I just started acting, you know, so I've only been doing this since September, but I come from more a corporate environment where it's like, you know, you can't talk to your coworkers, like, or, you know, it's like all these politics around it. Like, I would even get nervous if a guy at work talks to me too much, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want him to think I'm dating. But now with the industry, we have like our own moral compass, as opposed to depending on a company's moral compass, you know. So it's like, when it comes to dating in the industry, I'm like a little nervous. Like, do I want to date somebody that works at Jack in the Box just to, you know, feel safe, or do I want to like work with date like-minded people? And I'm kind of like going through that conflict right now.
When it comes to being in the entertainment industry, it is like, it's not an organized business, in my opinion. It's really not. It's not like there aren't rules like there are in other jobs, like corporate, or people it's just a bunch of artistic people that come together and they just do what they do. And with that sometimes comes weird situations, or
beautiful situations, like having a baby.
yeah, there's beautiful situations and there's not so beautiful situations, you know. It's just, I think that dating in the entertainment industry is so different than dating in another industry.
Really?
I think it is.
So it's totally different.
I just think like our lives are so different. Like,
yeah,
what people want to do is so different, and it's all different.
Yeah, because I feel like when you date, let's just say you date a guy, right, and you get a role, and he's not booking, or maybe you're kissing another actor, or something like that. It'll probably like cause conflict a little bit, maybe if they have insecurities, as opposed to you guys both have a job.
I think those types of things can cause it's detrimental. I think it can be detrimental to people's relationships. I think that's why Hollywood doesn't have the longest marriages or the most stable marriages, because of what you just said, like those types of things. I think it's really good for people to be really open-minded. The more open-minded you are, the more comfortable you'll be with things like that. But a lot of people aren't, and which is fine. But those things do cause problems, I think. Yeah,
because I dated my first and only person I've dated in the industry was a director. He directed and wrote his own short film. And then he was the first AD for USC, blase.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get my first speaking role, and then he's like so livid that I'm kissing another actor, and he wants to look at my contract, and you know, and I didn't even know when we first met if it was a job interview or a date, because when I first met him, it was an acting class, the acting class we were in.
Yeah.
It was an acting class, so I was like, he said, oh, let me get your headshot and resume. It starts off like that, and then it's like, oh, do you want to go to lunch and talk about your next shoot? And then, you know, we go to lunch, and it's like, it was no flirting whatsoever. So I'm like thinking, okay, I don't want to be like desperate and bring my headshot, but it's like it feels like a job interview. Then he's like, do you want to take your longer walk and get some coffee? And
Oh my goodness.
and then I was like, okay, like, you know, a long story short, he got me. He had a piece of meat for 2 months, broke my heart, you know. But I don't think I don't think I like joined the casting couch or anything. But like, it
It's
started
so
off with the whole resume thing to that.
it's hard to tell who is like legitimate in this industry. That's why like I've had to have contracts written for myself. Like when I work with photographers, I don't always do this. I don't do this as much anymore. But like if I mean I remember when I did the short film with you, like the short film we were in together.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I've had so many like shitty situations. Sorry to
Oh
pass on,
yeah.
that I start to have contracts because I don't know like what people are gonna do, you know. Or sometimes when someone asks you, hey, like, do you want to meet to talk about this film or this project I have? What I like to do in those situations is I like to look at their work. I say, can I see your work? And if their work looks really good, then I'm more convinced that it's safe. Or what I do is I actually, sometimes you just have to bring it up as uncomfortable as it is. Like I've actually had to say, hey, yes, yeah, I'm totally open to meeting with you for, you know, a drink, even though I don't drink, but meeting somewhere to talk.
Yeah,
Just to socialize and talk. However, I'm not looking. If your intention is to date me, I'm not here for that. I'm an actress and I'm here just to network, meet people, and just expand my career. I'm here for professional reasons only. If a friendship comes out of that, that's great. I think it's great to be close to like people you work with. You know, like I like to be friends and, you know, with photographers or directors or whatever, but you just have to just tell them, hey, like, I'm here strictly just to make my career.
that's
whatever.
really good advice because, you know, me personally with that guy, I was calling my mom and my friends like, okay, I'm going out to lunch. Is it a date? And they were like, it's a date, and I'm like, I don't know, like
It could be, it could not. I mean, in that situation, what happened happened. You
yeah,
know?
but I like how you just bring it up, like, you know,
Just
look,
bring it up.
this is it.
Yeah, just bring it up, or just be like, sometimes you just have to say things that make it seem like you're not interested.
Yeah.
You know, like little like comments, like, oh, I'm with my boyfriend, or I'm going to be with my girlfriend, or whatever.
Kind of like at the club when a guy's like want to kick it in my car, I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck you in your car, like, you know, you just like come at him like that, like, but not that I can come at him that cross, but it's like I feel like with the entertainment industry, I need to have boundaries.
Oh yeah, you need to tell people, hey, no. Like you just have to. I feel like being in this industry, I think it's made me a more assertive person with people. I think like girls that are models and actresses, like they're like superwoman. They have to deal with so much from people, whether it's just guys that are creepy or just rudeness, you know? So you have to learn how to just be professional, be firm, and just say what you need to say. I remember there was this one YouTube series this guy was casting, and he said, I had a few questions about it. I wasn't so sure. And he's like, well, just come over, like we could talk about it, like meet at this cafe or something. And I'm like, yeah, but just want to let you know I am in a committed relationship. I'm not interested. And he kind of started laughing a little bit. Like, and I was like, okay, yeah.
And then it's like, it's kind of, I wouldn't say scary, but there's times when they're like legit like Harvey Weinstein, and then it's like they're still like creepy at the same time, like a creepy Disney executive. It's like, dang, like you go make it all the way up to the top, and it's still like you can still deal with creepos.
Oh yeah, I've had that. Like I've had that. I mean, I haven't had that happen to me like all the time, but it's happened. Like I remember there was this guy that I got this audition, and I was supposed to read a monologue from Scarface. I think it was Scarface, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like a Michelle Pfeiffer monologue from Scarface. I might be wrong. But I walk in, and this building is so nice, and this office was so nice. I had to wait outside for him. He comes, everything's so professional. This man comes outside, he's in a suit and tie and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's very professional. He was like a producer and owned a talent agency. And I walk in, and he has me read for him, and he's like, I am blown away by you. And we start talking. And this is before I was with my current boyfriend. I was actually with my ex at the time, which was the worst relationship I've ever had.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, the worst. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a horrible guy, but he just not for me. And he could see like I was unhappy, and I just felt like I couldn't vent to anyone, but he could just tell I was unhappy about that, and I think he started to take advantage of the fact that I was unhappy with my boyfriend, and he basically started acting like he knows what's right for me and everything, and he knows what I need. So he told me, hey, come back. So I left, right? We stopped, we talked. He actually gave me a hug. I left the office. I come back a week later. He's like, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. I made a lot of mistakes here, okay?
Oh, no, girl, yes.
Like, the story goes on. Okay, I made a lot of mistakes. So he's like, I want to talk to you. And I said, okay. So I thought he was going to say, like, I want to cast you. No. Like, he has me go in his office again, and he grabs my hand, and he says, he's like, look at all these places. Like, he starts showing me, like, his villa and his yacht and his jet, and he's like, I could give you that life. Like, I could do everything for you that your boyfriend can't do for you. Just be my girlfriend. Come away with me. He's like, why can't you just be with us at the same time? And I'm
Damn.
like... And
he sounded like he wanted to turn you into a sugar baby.
Yeah, and he had a girlfriend. And honestly, I feel like a lot of these men that are, like, over 40 in this business, I feel like they have, I'm not trying to say all of them are like this, but there are some that are, they just, when they have girlfriends and wives, they're looking for something else. Like, they see these younger actresses and models, and they just want more.
Yeah, a fantasy.
Yeah, they just want more. And then I said no. And I left. And I would have to say, like, I was unhappy with my relationship. I wanted to leave. I ended up leaving a few months later. I was preparing myself to get out.
Oh,
and
that's good.
I wanted to get out, and I did. Even though I just couldn't
smelled it.
convince myself.
People are like vultures. It's like an antisocial personality type of thing. Like, they pry on someone's weakness to get close to them and put their fangs in them.
Yeah. And he was very cunning and very intelligent, but cunning.
Like American Psycho.
Yeah, like, he knew. and I said no, thank you. I left, and then I stopped talking. We stopped talking, and then I left my boyfriend a few months later, like right around my birthday, April. This was 2 years ago, and we started talking again, and I wasn't interested in him like that. I just wanted, I don't know. He was so nice to me, and I have the personality where, like, I just talk to people who are nice to me, even if they don't always have nice intentions.
Yeah.
So he was just really nice to me. So we started talking again, and he just treated me like really nice. He said, oh, well, like, he would talk to me all night on the phone, and he'd say things like, I could give you that life. Just give me a chance. Like, I could give you everything you've wanted. And
Yeah. It's the part, like, it's okay that he wanted to spend time with you, to me, but I didn't agree with so much, like, I have this and I have that and I have a villa and, like, I want to give you this life. It's almost like, is this an exchange for what?
I mean, it was. He basically, I mean, he would just say we could just be friends with other things.
Yeah.
Which I'd say no. I mean, I remember, like, one night I went, we hung out, and he kept wanting to do things.
Yeah.
And I just left. And
that's good.
I never heard from him again.
That's good.
I never heard from him again. I don't think...
Because when they don't get what they want, kick rocks.
Yeah, I got lucky in a way, because there are some guys in, like, Hollywood that they just take advantage of women in that way.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like that. He wasn't that person.
He wasn't that. It wasn't that bad. It was just he had intentions and he wanted to, like, swoon you in with nice things. Even if he, like, maybe his intention was just to be nice. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't like the whole, like, I can give you this, and it's like,
it pushed me away. I was like, I think it made me even more like, ugh.
It'd be one thing if he was just like, oh yeah, like, maybe didn't even flirt on you at all, just like wanted to communicate with you more. I'm attracted to that. I'm, like, not attracted to a guy that's like put their hand on your thigh, and be like, yeah, pickup line. I'm like, dude, just act like I'm a normal person and I might fall for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of guys like that.
You know what? I know someone who's in the industry who has a big bond in jail for raping 2 girls in this industry. And it was like, I had cast my best friend for one of his photo shoots, and she told me that they were drinking on the set and he came on to her really strong, and I ended up getting there after some kind of networking event that I did, but I ended up getting there at the shoot, and I remember him trying to pull her into the bathroom, and I was like, I'm that type of friend, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm a cock blocker. Like, that's not my friend to go in the bathroom with a guy. Yeah. I'm like, no. Like, I grab her, and she's been raped before, so I don't know how her boundaries are when it comes to standing up for herself. But when I snatched her arm and snatched her out of the bathroom, she was like, thank you. Like, some people feel helpless sometimes.
Yeah, my dad always would tell me, even though he always believed I could be a good actress, he'd say, Jasmine, I don't really want you to do it. I don't want you to be in this industry. My dad doesn't like Hollywood. My dad hates Hollywood. Mm-hmm. For these reasons. Like, my dad thinks that most people are like that. Or my dad would try to convince me to stop and not pursue an acting or modeling career, because he would tell me that he's like, I just worried. I'm always worried. Every time you go to an audition, I'm worried about you. That you'll meet someone like that. So, yeah.
I joke around and say this. I hope, like, this doesn't, like, blacklist me, but I'll be like, I want to bring us some pepper spray to an audition. We really just do show up at these addresses. Like, and you go on Google and you're like, okay, this is what it looks like, mm-hmm. And it might be just a black door. Like, you don't know.
I haven't always been really smart with these things, like looking up the address beforehand. That's actually, I think that's important to do it. When I started auditioning, when I first started to audition, there was an audition for a web series on YouTube, like a YouTube series. Mm-hmm. And it was funny, but, I mean, I had watched it and it was funny. But I remember the audition was a little weird. Because I pull up and it was a really bad area.
Oh.
And if you look, like, I was like, where is this? So you could see on this on a window. It had an arrow, and it said auditions in this room, and it was like an apartment. And
Oh God.
I didn't walk inside. I stood out, and I saw the guy, and his apartment was just horrible and dirty, and he was this overweight guy, and I just left.
I this is when I first started acting. I ran into 2 scams back to back. 2 scams. One of them, I don't know if he was a pimp, talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna like, you guys are gonna make money. You're gonna make money. You're gonna make money. I was like, I don't know, like this don't sound right. And then he would like, it felt like a cult a little bit because he would preach for like 3 hours about God and like. It's sometimes I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're vampires. Like, I don't know what kind of people are they? Like, are they sex traffickers? I don't know what you are to have a bunch of women around you doing table reads, preaching, and like not, like he was kind of creepy. Then it was another guy. He was trying to make me sign a contract that was only 1 page.
Oh, what?
It was literally like, oh, we're gonna pay you this for various roles, and I think he just wanted to like have me on contract perpetually, so then whenever I do have something coming up, he's like, no, but I have a short film coming up. Like, I don't know what his intentions were, but it was also this one audition. I was auditioning like all week, and I was submitting. So sometimes I would go in there unprepared. Because it was like so much, I was getting overwhelmed. And it was the day of the audition. My friend, she asked me, she's like, so what role are you going for? And I was like, oh, I don't know, let me check. So I checked for the audition, and it's like some lady who pulls a long piece of paper out of her vagina and reads it. It was like pictures of like how they wanted us to do it, and I don't know if they wanted us to do it at the audition.
Is so weird.
But I had looked at it, and I was gonna go to the address and everything.
Oh my God.
And it was in a theater. But my friend was just like, "Oh, what role are you going for?" And I was just like, "Let me check." And I was like, "Holy moly!" I was like, "Girl, they got me pulling something out of my vagina and reading it. What kind of smut film is this?"
Oh yeah, I remember like I got sent a self-tape. I got requested to send a self-tape. And first I think the director, he sent me an email. He's like, okay, can you email this person? And then this person will send you the script. I was like, okay. I get this script, and it's so weird. It starts talking about just something similar to what you said.
Yeah. I've even been like a background actor for a movie, and I didn't even know what the content was, and I have to be careful what I put myself in, because I don't know what I want to represent, but they were talking about like molestation with like 16-year-old girls, and I'm like in the audience with the camera on me, like, and they're like, oh, I love your facial expressions. I'm like, yeah, this is real, like real facial expressions. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so yeah, Hollywood is weird. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor because I liked acting, but I was always scared of Hollywood, to the point where I was like, I'm just going to do this while I'm a kid, and I'm going to enjoy it, and when I become an adult, I'm just going to go to college, because I did not want to get into Hollywood. I was so scared, but I'm in it now. And it's not bad. You just have to have a good intuition.
It's weird, like, I've never been scared, even though I should be, maybe.
That's good.
I've never been scared. I don't know why. I think everyone's different. Like, everyone's, like, feelings about it are different.
When I was a kid, I was scared, but now that I'm an adult and, like, my goals are knocking on my door, I'm like, I'm relentless and fearless. But, so, with all this weird stuff, what was different about your boyfriend?
What was different? I think a lot of times when you meet any guy, like, they're just so persistent. Like that one guy I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, oh my God, you're so annoying. Go away. My boyfriend, it was just genuine. That's why I fell for, that's one of the reasons I fell for him. He was just genuine, because when we first met, it was like a summer night, and I was 10 minutes late because there was traffic on the freeway because there was the fair. And I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, there's so much traffic. But, I mean, I remember he was just so... I say this to everyone I meet about him. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's funny. He was really cocky at first. Like, he just wouldn't look at me or give me eye contact. He just,
Oh, that's sexy.
he was just like... She's like, just put on your outfits, let's just shoot. Like, he was like this annoying girl. And that's what he was thinking. He told me, he's like, I told you specifically to bring a variety of different outfits. And I couldn't, because I was moving into a new apartment at the time. And my clothes were just all over the place. So I just brought a bunch of random dresses. And I didn't listen to what he told me. So... I got tired. I'm just sick of all these photographers. So I just like, I don't think like that anymore. But at the time, I was just like, just in a really bad place emotionally, honestly. Like, I was really depressed. I was in a really, really dark place in my life. It took a while to get out of. You know, I still struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I remember within... we just started talking, and he was so blunt. He would just ask
Is he
me.
an Aries?
No, he's a Virgo.
Okay, I don't know much about Virgos.
Virgos are interesting. But he was just really, like, he just asked me, like, I'll be shooting. He's like, what's your favorite place? And I'm like, I know why you're asking me that. He's like, what? I'm like, you're asking me that because you just want me to imagine I'm at that place so the shots turn out better. He's like,
so you were being a little bratty Kathy.
yeah. So he's like, no, that's not why. I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite place? And he starts talking about East Asia and Thailand and Vietnam and all these places he's been to. And we just started, I don't know, I had this weird feeling about him. I'm like, this guy's kind of a dick. But I don't know, there's something I'm attracted to. And it's so weird.
Sound like he got game. He sound like he's suave. Sound like he Mr. Mysterious.
Yeah, he
Sounds
was.
like he doesn't like get hot and bothered off of girls. He just kind of like has his stilo, and he's just like, if he liked you, you wouldn't even know it. Like, but then he also seems like a guy that if he likes you, like, he's not gonna let you go. And I'm like attracted to a man that doesn't let me go. Because I'm a runner. Like, I'll be like, oh my god, I'm breaking up with you.
That's how I am too.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're done. Don't ever talk to me again.
And then they'll be like, sit down. I made some spaghetti. We need to talk. And I'm like, he won't let me go. I think it's adorable.
It is adorable. If a man lets you go, that's when you're like, let him let you go.
Yeah.
You know? But, we started talking, and then, like, it was so weird because he brought his motorcycle out, and then he had me lay on it. And I remember, like, I had never felt like this because I have been modeling for 5 years. And I'm like, in the 3 years I've been modeling, I've never wanted to make out with my photographer.
That's hot.
Like, I just wanted to, like, I'm like, I just want him to climb on top of me right now and just kiss me. It was so weird.
Oh.
So then we started talking
so
about all these different topics, and we started talking about, like, all these different things, and he started to act different. Like, that cockiness just suddenly went away. And he just became really sweet.
I could tell he's a protector too.
Yeah, he just became really sweet. And then, like, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I got there at 7. Or it was like 4 o'clock, and then I'm like, I have to go home. And then when I went home, I got outside, and he gave me this big hug. I didn't initiate it, he did. And he's like, it's like in Cinderella when the prince was like, I must see you again, come back. He's like, I have to see you again, just come back tomorrow. So I got home, and then he texted me, making sure I got home safe. And then the next night, or later that day, because it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, I come back, and then we go on his motorcycle, we go see the stars, and it was just really sweet.
I think it's something about that, like, smooth confidence that he has, like not like in a player way, but more like a he's sure of himself. He doesn't need to chase girls because it's gonna come. Like he's
Yeah.
natural, and
Yeah.
that naturalness is what makes women feel comfortable.
Yeah. I think when a guy brags to you about how good he is in bed,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
biggest
so
turn off.
annoying.
It's like, you go away, you're never, no. Like that guy I was talking about earlier, he'd just be like, oh, you're so lucky, like that I would even want to do that with you. Like all the girls love me. Like
Oh my gosh, he
ex-
sounds like he has an STD.
I'm just like, okay, but my boyfriend wasn't like that. My boyfriend, he that's why it just felt right. Like it felt like he wasn't just some player, like he just wanted to be with me. Like
Sometimes
so
I get so comfortable around guys to the point where like I would test them and be like, if I got naked right now, he would probably look me in my eyes and be like, so what'd you eat today? I'm like, that is so hot. Like that makes me want to pounce on you.
That's a good thing because it shows he's not just like interested in that aspect, you know. And I'm there's a lot of models that have better bodies than me, so
you got a rocking body, girl.
Thank you.
It's like long and slender and soft and delicate. You're delicate.
Thank you. You're so sweet. But that's how we met. I never imagined that I would ever fall in love with the photographer. Not that I'm like, oh, I would never. It just never.
It's just you were so professional and like you're on your.
Yeah. I was always.
You're not looking for love in the studio. Like.
No, I'm just. I was so driven, even more today. But at the time, I was just so driven about. I just want to go in there and get work done and leave. And if I think you're nice, we could just be friends and shoot together. Like that wasn't what I was thinking. I've dated other people in the industry, like, but when I say dated, like, I don't mean like I was like committed or I would just go out with them to dinner and hold hands and kiss.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care if you're seeing another girl. Like I just.
Oh girl, you like me. I categorize them. I separate them. I'm like. So there's the nice guys that I want to be a lady around and I don't want to give it up too early because I really like him. And then there's guys that I'll be like, he's hot, but he probably got a bad credit score. I don't want to see you tomorrow. You're so cute.
Yeah.
So, like, where could we find you on Instagram, social media?
My Instagram username is MS Jasmine Rossi. With an E at the end, Jasmine.
And then describe your content.
My content. Well, I said before, I don't smile a lot in my photographs. And I recently posted some more like high fashion kind of sexier photographs.
Yeah, girl. I'm like, that was like one of the sexiest that I see you in. I'm like,
Thank
ooh,
you.
girl.
Thank you so much.
But it was classy, though. It
Yeah.
was classy.
Yeah, there's like, you have to make sure. I mean, for me, everyone's different, but I'm trying to make sure like I keep that in check. I tell photographers, I'm like, I don't want my butt showing or my crack showing or any of that. But some of it's high fashion, some of it's like beauty stuff, print beauty, like glamorous makeup and hair, which I do myself. I do my own makeup. I do my own makeup on all my photo shoots.
Oh, wow.
I do. I like doing my own makeup. I just feel like I know my face like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
So, and I know like, I don't know. I feel like I know what works for me.
And you always have like the right blush on.
The right color, the right amount.
Right color blush. Like your blush is like beautiful.
Thank you. I love blush. I'm like some girls like highlighter.
I like highlighter.
Yeah, I don't know. Highlighter just makes my pores look huge. So.
Oh. I like a gold.
It highlights, so like you could see like. You know what I mean? Kind of. Like,
are you working on anything soon? Like any like recent work, or are you any upcoming work for acting or modeling?
So my agency told me they might possibly, because right now with coronavirus things are crazy, but I contacted them, and then they just like, we might have an ongoing print job for you. I didn't tell them I'm pregnant. But
you know what, girl,
but,
be the anomaly. Like work while you're pregnant, and then like I would like start doing pregnancy shoots with your boyfriend. Like, in the lingerie holding the baby, or like having a little like robe or something. And then you can also write some stuff and then hire some people, because people work for free in Hollywood. Hire some people like to direct it, shoot it, edit it, you write it, and boom, you in a whole short film, and you pregnant, and you 8 months.
Oh wow, that's a good idea. There is this one director who has cast me in a short film. We don't know when we're going to start filming yet.
Okay.
We're not sure. It's we should start soon though, because
Same here.
the bump is going to grow.
Yeah.
But it's about, basically it's kind of a Snow White-ish theme a little bit. Hansel and Gretel / Snow White. It's about this young woman who runs away from this witch's house, and she's running in the forest, and this witch catches her and brings her back and makes her into soup. So.
Oh my gosh, I see like a close up in your lips, and you're like,
what?
Like I see you running through the forest, and then it's like a close up look in the camera, like real quick.
Oh really?
Like, I
Thank
see
you
doing that, like. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I've been like looking forward to this interview for a long time.
Oh, yes, she has. And you are welcome back on the show.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show, Miss Jasmine Rossi.
Thank you so much.